Believe we are live. So say indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and only friends. It's nice having you here again. Today's stream topic, the thing we are intentionally, consciously evolving towards, is considering our problems. Considering the kind of problems we have right now, and for me, being the way I am and the things I like talking about, considering the problems we'll have one day, right? Today's stream topic is about the problems we'll end up creating for ourselves. And in my own optimistic way of seeing the future, I believe that we won't be facing the same kind of problems we're facing right now as a species. I believe the problems we'll be facing in the future are going to be problems of our own, right? Very uniquely, our own kind of problems, right? And again, I believe most of those problems will occur by narrative. Hey, Joy Vive, it's nice seeing your name here with us. It'll apply to narratives, right? To the things that people think. And yesterday was a beautiful example of that, where maybe there was some sort of misalignment in what I thought was going on, right? And in that way, I thought it was a problem. And in that way, it was my problem, not anybody else's, all right? And that is today's stream topic. What problem do you have that is uniquely yours? I got myself some strawberry lemonade going to the joint today. It's outdoor, no, tunnel grown, I believe. So it's not expensive at the very least. But it's called strawberry lemonades. And it just smells very sweet, right? Like, this doesn't smell like weed kind of vibes. Like, at all. And that's kind of the thing that I'm the most fascinated by. Thank you, the joint. No. Strawberry lemonade. I'm expecting some strawberry and lemony terpenes. I've had some strawberry fields before that was very strawberry. And I've had some lemon cheesecakes that were very lemony. So I'm curious to see, lemon and strawberry, right? Do sound nice together. Let's see what it's like after being crushed. I mean, I could definitely smell. This smells very similar to the way my strawberry gorilla smelled. And it doesn't really smell like strawberries as much as it smells like. Smells like kind of like pinching the green of the strawberries together and rolling it in your fingers. I've never had strawberry lemonade, the wheat strain, not the beverage. Yeah, I've had neither the strain or the beverage. But I am looking forward to this. It feels great. Like the consistency of it is very, very tacky. But I'll experience this and then I'll consider with you friends again the problems that we face. The problems that we'll face. I really do envision a future for us where the problems we face right now are going to be trivial in our minds. We're going to be like, well, imagine back in the day when the biggest problems we had was whether or not we can afford food. Jeez, I wish we can go back to those days. And this is not me being like doom and gloom, like the future is going to be bad and we're going to have to solve all these problems. I think my lighter is missing from my little baggie. Would you be patient? I'll return in a second. Let me show you the outside. Look at all of that outside world. That's what I like to look at when I'm streaming with you, friends. If I'm not looking directly at you. There we go. Found it in no time at all. Hey, Lois Zana's here with us as well. There we go. Hey, LA. It's nice having you here. Mel, Joy, Joy, do you ever find yourself in Seattle asking for a friend? The friend is me. Never been, but the Space Needle is on my bucket list. So much love. And I like how Jovan uses the word space as well in the next sentence. This space feels like family gathering around a breakfast nook. I love this fam. Joy, LA, Mel, we love you. Thank you, Zhao, for joining us here in our little breakfast nook. It's a pretty cold day here. It was especially cold last night. And then going through to the joint today, there was a nice fire and there was cool people. And we got to have some cool chats. I did go through for a meeting. And the meeting went well. Woo! That one is killing my eyes open. It is a sativa. Goodness. But it did something unexpected. The first puff didn't taste anything like the second puff on the same cycle. I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Sorry about that. It's not bad, but it's not what I was expecting, right? It's not what I was expecting. The second puff on the first cycle was the one that had flavor to it, and it was for like a split second very much strawberry lemonade. Almost like I was walking past the place the strawberry lemonade was being made. Like there's a big factory that just churns strawberry lemonade, and they have like a big spout that just like vents all of the hot vapors that they make inside that factory. And I got to inhale that. At first, it was kind of like, and this is to give you like why my facial expressions was so shocked. At first, it was like I was in front of that vent of the factory, and then I got hit mostly by the dust that is still stuck in that tube before all of the warm fruitiness came through. Right, and that kind of took me by surprise. All right. Goodness, why do I have so many notifications on this thing? No, I have none. He's happy. There we go. Good. Let me open it up again. Ryan is here with us today. Geez, I was weirdly enough thinking with you having your camera on about you being in this space with Ryan. And here you are. I do like myself some synchronicities like that. Love is true. Sending you blessings, bro. I caught a bit of Mel talking about abundance emerging, and I was hoping to hear more. Well, since you're asking, I have shared with you friends that as of late my mind has been in a state of thinking about opportunities, thinking about how I can add more value to this industry that I'm working in, how there is clearly a need in many different ways for certain things. And these things cost money. So I mentioned, and we had like a whole stream topic about it, how there is this ambition, this capacity for all of us to have this drive to get things done, to do things, right? To seek out these opportunities. However, there's also the part of yourself that feels limited in being able to execute on these opportunities because you're in part beholden to people, right? Specifically beholden to people. And the opportunities are interlinked, holistically linked to the people as well, right? They're not interdependent. And one of these states I found myself in is in considering and doing R&D for what we can do as a business. And I talked a little bit about my want to have a piece of equipment that is a like 50,000 lumen Barco projector. Barco is the brand. It's a good brand. I used to sell Barco products when I was still doing AV. I used to sell the Barco Click. It's like a little AV unit that has a button, but on the other side of that button is an HDMI. And then you plug that HDMI into your laptop and you press the button, and it creates a wireless feed with your HDMI that it appears on your TV if you're switched to your Barco source, which was really cool. It was a really cool piece of technology, right? And now I'm starting to look at their projectors, but it's like $150,000 for one of them, right? So I was like talking on stream, like, oh no, one of you friends have 150K that I can have, please. No, damn it, right? And then jokingly saying that by the end of next year, I want one. And then I kind of like scaled back, did more R&D, kind of like looked at the smaller steps, so I can take the small steps, and then in taking the small steps, get to the bigger steps. And then that small step looked like sound. So I did the cost estimates for like 8 line arrays and 4 subs, which is going to be between 400 and 540,000 rand, which is like $20,000 to $27,000, which is a little bit more manageable than 150, right? So today's meeting, I had the opportunity to talk, as I do, and in this talk, I've been doing the like math. I've already had like a business plan set up for the idea as well, but then I sold the idea as well. You know, I want this gear. There is a need in the industry for good sound quality because our industry doesn't actually have the best tech. It has like, I think, 9-year-old, maybe even 12-year-old tech, and I think 3 years ago, the new generation of sound came out, and it's better. It's better than anything I've heard in South Africa. So, being able to own equipment like that sounds pretty sick. So that was basically the conversation that was had. I share with him my want to do that, you know, to own the equipment. I share with him the plan I have where he is the one that basically pays for the system. And we're going to meet next week with his accountant to talk about it. So it's gonna happen. Oh, Megan, it's gonna happen. It's definitely gonna happen. And then I share with him this idea where we get the equipment. When the equipment is not being used for festivals, the equipment lives at his venue, and then when they're not at his venue, they're literally earning their, I don't know, their weight in gold. They're earning basically 10% of their value in a weekend, right? So it's a good investment to make. And then we basically come to a confirmation that this is what we want to do, especially when I shared with him the idea of having it set up in his space, him sharing his idea with me to have a space for DJs to come and practice, right? And like I told him that literally with the sound we want to get, DJs will drive 3 hours in a direction to get to wherever that sound is just to play their set, because believe you me, the people that likes their music more than anything is the DJ playing it, right? That's why they're doing that kind of stuff. So hearing your sound on good sound makes a difference. So there's this establishment that is what we want to do. He tells me about another business contact that he has, that he met recently, that has more money that he knows how to spend. Right. So yeah. And then we're basically talking because, obviously it's still a lot of money. But with having connections like this, and that connection he told me about wants to start doing festivals in his space as well. And we already have another festival that we can quote coming up. We can basically have that mini festival bring 10% of the total speaker value, which can be used as a deposit. And then we can, pitch to that other business as well that they can like front half the capital, and the first 10 events they throw with the speakers, they have no sound quote, right? Like there's stuff you can do. There is stuff you can do. So there you go, brother Ryan. That's like the behind the scenes of using your words, sharing your ideas, sharing your hopes, right? Unfortunately, I have a decent amount of social proof, I guess. Like I got kind of thrown into the deep end, metaphorically speaking, with this space, and I swam. And people were like clapping hands on the outside while I don't drown. And now I get to maybe actually swim. Maybe there's now a direction to swim in. And again, geez, like just the thought of having 500 rands worth of sound. And I know this is me being excessive, but guess what? My name is Meltmore. What did you expect? Having $25,000 worth of sound for Weedy Wednesdays. Mm, that sounds like a good idea to me. Sounds like a great idea. Whose idea was that? Mine? That's fantastic idea. So yeah, love is true. I'm super grateful. Just there is a lot of hope. There's other things as well, like getting paid a retainer to make like content posts for the business, but that's not gonna be big money. That's gonna be like $50 a month extra if I'm lucky. Maybe $100 if I'm lucky. Maybe $50 I'll be able to swing, but it's a 50 extra bucks that I didn't have. So yeah, love is true. Love is so true. Our heat wave finally broke, so that's nice. We got like the coldest day we can expect in this year. It was -7 degrees Celsius at my parents' place, -8 degrees Celsius where my brother lives. So it got pretty cold here in South Africa. Interesting that your heat wave broke as well. Sending your blessings. What was the meeting about? There you heard. So one, retainer for doing media for the business. Two, the sound, and that I think is like basically sold. That one is gonna happen. Three was screens. I also had like a conversation about screens. I did share with a few friends my idea to have like a bunch of 75-inch LEDs, LED TVs, instead of the LED walls for the festivals we're gonna be doing. And that is semi-sold, right? It's gonna be sold pretty much guaranteed as soon as we get the quotes. And he was like, "Let me get the quotes for what the LED walls costed for this festival, and then I'll think about it." And he's gonna, as soon as he sees those quotes, so that's gonna be, I think, pretty much sold. And then other thing actually occurred or spawned because others know on Women's Day in South Africa, August, we're going to be at the joint. It's gonna be me, Stefan, and John. I'm gonna be playing my cajon. Stefan is gonna be on the guitar. John is also probably gonna be on a guitar and mostly vocals, singing. And it's gonna be a Women's Day, so we'll probably set up a set that is very Women's Day centric. And then there will be the intention to properly record the set as well, because that competition that John wants to sign up for, then I can edit together for them a nice video. So it's kind of like we're getting blessed with this really cool opportunity to actually perform our music and take proper video with a crowd and a stage, and better than just our voices as sound, microphones and speakers. So yeah, that's also happened. That was also part of the meeting. Was there more? Technically, there was more, but it was more like me talking about the registering of the business, him giving me his accountant's number so I can get that stuff sorted. Oh, my brain has many tabs open right now, but it's good. It's good to have these things reeling around. I get to think about my problems, right? I get to solve problems other than thinking about problems. No, 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 no. Joy for about 2.5 days in August. Still not sure on dates. Maybe I need to switch all messages. I checked. It's 58 Fahrenheit there right now. That's hoodie and shorts weather. Yeah, I mean I'm still like in a t-shirt. It's 15 degrees Celsius here right now, but it was -2 this morning. Right. Fortunately, when the sun comes, it adds a lot of heat to my environment. But while it is away, it was 28 Fahrenheit. It was 28 Fahrenheit this morning. And to some of you, that might not be very cold, but it's very, very chilly. Very, very chilly. Abundance to you and yours. Love, joy, thank you. Sam, that's when I sleep with my windows open. With that kind of weather? Now, yeah. 15 degrees Celsius is windows open, nice, comfy under your blankets weather. I've had very good luck with meeting online friends IRL, so if we can keep that going, I trust, right? Like, I feel it's one of those things where if you can have a conversation of a person in general online, you're gonna have a conversation of them in person as well, and that's, you usually know from a distance whether or not you can have a conversation with a person. Let me know when you know LA, and maybe we can meet up. Bless. So I have 2 road trips to look forward to, heading to Winnipeg Folk Festival for the day after tomorrow, and then a few days in Seattle sometime in August. My son has a friend there who is having surgery at the end of August. Are you going through for him? I'm guessing. Maybe that's what you're going through. That's nice. Bless. The click sound, like a Chromecast or Amazon Fire Stick, is very cool to be able to put what's on your device on a screen. True. It is pretty crude. Like, it was like, you can think of it almost like, imagine a DVD player, a small little box, like literally this box, and then it was, that long of this big box, and it had 2 little antennas on it, and it had a power button, and then it had HDMI outs, so you can plug it into your projector or your TV screens, and you can plug it into multiple TV screens if you wanted to. And then again, a little square that had a circular button in it, and then it has an HDMI, either an HDMI or a DisplayPort or a Type C, even had a Type C. Plug a Type C into your PC, you push that button, and it turns your screen on your laptop onto those screens, right? So for like video conferencing, and if you have meetings and you're showing up with your PC at some conference room that you don't know where the HDMI cable is, you don't know where the button for the TV is. You just walk into a room and it has like barcode already on the screens, and it shows you on the screen like what the button looks like, and then you sit down at the desks, and there are these little units all around the table, and you can just plug them in and push this button, and then they weren't hard to sell to people that had the money to buy them, but they were kind of expensive still. They were like industry products, the Barco industry products, so it still checks out. Ooh, I hope you have the best time at the Folk Festival. Bless. Your fam is going with you, yeah. We wish we had time to do the whole Pacific Coast to get down to California or Nevada, but my husband can't get enough time off work until maybe Christmas. I'm happy that you're having at least some time. That sounds like it's gonna be still nice. Joy, my niece and her husband will be there for sure. Maybe brother and sister-in-laws and other niece. $25,000 worth of sound would make a great album title. $25,000 worth of sound. Yeah, I like that. Like, and again, maybe that number doesn't mean that much to you. $25,000 for the sound. Like, that just sounds like big number money and then sound melt. Is that gonna be better? It's yeah. Yes. The answer is yes. The simple answer is just empirically yes. It will be better. Because it goes from you can hear the music to you can feel the music. Right? And the amount of clarity, even at higher volumes, where a lot of people with loud music have that sense of like screeching, right? Where you're like you're almost cringing. A part of your body and soul is like repelled by the loudness of a speaker system. These speaker systems don't do that to you. They can get loud. They can get like 136 decibels loud. I don't know what that means, Mel. Like airplane loud, like standing next to a jet engine level of loud. That's how loud they can get. But you don't push them that loud. And with the amount of clarity, it doesn't hurt when it's loud, despite being as loud as it is, kind of vibes. It is pretty incredible. And it almost makes it easy to dance. Like that level of bass, like lifts you off the ground, kind of vibes. You like get caught in one of those waves. Y'all are gonna perform in public and record it. Yeah. Yeah, the recording in Fractal is probably the most skizzy part. I'll just have multiple angles, I think. Multiple cameras, multiple angles, instead of trying to walk in front of crowds. I think that's gonna be the better option. I hate to even bring it into the field of possibilities, but ensure that sound systems from theft if you can. Yeah, that is something you can do at least. And they can, have like trackers put into them. But yeah, it's one of them things, right? Theft, getting stuff stolen. Fortunately, there probably will be insurance on it right off the bat. And they are very heavy on the other side. It's not exactly something you can just carry by yourself for long periods of time. Maybe you can, but like the subs are like a person, like you gotta do that by yourself. Not for long. Cables and bike locks are necessary sometimes. Yeah, that might end up being the case at some places, but where they're gonna stay, that liability kind of won't fall on me. At least that's the way I would like it to be. If it can be, right? Kind of vibes. Bah, Melt, you may not want to do this, but perhaps considering contracting the sound manufacturer. Or like, yeah, send us. Let me read you the list. They were like, send us this. Yeah, totally, bro. We'll give you speakers. No, I need to add my account here. I'll do it now. I created a Google Workspace account. No, what are you doing? Oh, listen to me. So now, instead of typing in at google.com, I type in my company name, MindMeld Visuals. MindMeldVisuals.com. There we go. There we go. Sorry about this for taking some time. I have to now go through login details, remember passwords and stuff. Maybe, boom! Skadoosh! There we go. My messages are being begotten. Come. Scoop the internet. Scoop more. Scoopy. Scoop more for this. It's gonna be here any second now. Right? Like, I feel like it would have been more dramatic if I got to just whip up the email and start reading you what they expect of me before I can give them my money. Right? Like, that's the other side of the joke. Like, I now potentially have the investor, but even if I had the cash, actually paying them has like this whole hoop that I have to jump through again. Let's see if closing it and opening. Yes, like loading. This account is brand spanking new. Like loading 7 emails. I don't know. But I don't think it should take this long. It's still doing the getting your messages thing. Jeez, come on. Like, I am impatienting right now. There is no patience for this long of waitings. It's making me miss my Dynavac. Please, dude, please. I beg you. I beg you, please. I'm getting schizoid. It's not that big a deal, please. Please. I guess I can, no, it doesn't help me to try and tell you. That's not gonna be as impactful because I'm gonna miss things. I was intending to talk about self-created problems. You know, these are one of those. Like this to me is a massive fucking problem. Big problem. Big fucking problem. I do not like this. I do not like, I don't know how long have we waited? How many minutes has it been? It's literally like 7 emails. What are you waiting for? Why is it taking so long? I'm asking you still, God. Right? But it's my problem. This is my problem. And I feel like it's involving you. It's affecting you. So it's really messing with my brain. Please. Please. Ask nothing. I ask nothing more but to load email. It's still going. Why are you struggling? Need to hit my line. Something went wrong. Ah. It wants me to type in some sort of security code. I think it's because it's looking on these devices. It's trying to send me a code and these devices are in use. So it's not allowing him to. Well, that's one way to end this saga of waiting. Have absolutely zero payoff. But okay, basically, they sent me a list where it was like my name and my surname and my ID number and my cell phone number and my email and my personal VAT number, which is like my tax number, my personal tax number, and my banking information. Then, on top of that, I need to send them my business name, my business holder name, my business something's name, holder, parent company, like 3 layers. Then there's business VAT number. Then there's business tax number. Then there's business like Medicare number or something like that. Then there's like a holder, business owner name, business owner ID, business owner VAT number. Right? So it's like this fucking giga list just to give them my money, right? Never mind, never mind even like trying to get the money together. Like it is quite a thing. So there we go. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you had to wait that long for that. It wasn't supposed to be like that, I promise. That's why I apologize. I'm gonna open this thing again. All right. Have you tried turning it off? I tried multiple times, Joy. Multiple times of turning it off and turning it back on again, and then you hear me spaz out more and begging for it to work more harder. Every time it doesn't actually end up working. And yeah, another thing, Nancy, is I won't have to mention to people the brand's name. It's JBL, right? Every single one of you probably knows JBL already. And the sound is so good that people are gonna be like, holy shit, these JBLs, am I right? And I'm gonna be like, yo, you are right. You are right. These JBLs do be JBLing. And then we're gonna get people hitting us up, being like, bro, you need to bring those JBLs to our party. And I'm gonna be like, yes. Yes, I do. Of course. So yeah, I think that sound is gonna speak for itself at least, but unfortunately, because they are as big as they are, they don't really give you discounts. But I have gone through the process of getting quotes at the very least. And because I'm gonna be quoted as a business, I might end up, hopefully, probably not, getting a discount. Probably not. Oh, it's overcast and chilly. That means that I wear my new Stranger Things sweatshirt that I got on clearance for $9. I love a deal. Bless you. Nick is madman. He went to daycare yesterday and learned skills for fighting back with Dixie. Comes back with like Neo, you know. I know kung fu, he says. Or summarize the emails. No, it's literally like I legitimately only that account is less than 2 weeks old. There's only like 7 emails on the whole thing. That's why I was getting so like, bruh, you're loading messages like you're loading the last 15 years worth of emails. When I know you're not. I know you're not, dude. Stop lying, I say. Hey Shell, selling 11s. It's true though, so many of life problems can be fixed by turning it off and on again. Sometimes metaphorically. If you feel yourself thinking you have a problem, think about not having a problem, and then think about having the problem again, and see if that helps your problem solving skills. And it actually might. You know, I was kind of like tongue in cheek making that reference, but yeah, technically. Tristan, are you loving having 2 puppies? It was not easy here until June. So much love. Also, Kristen, how are you handling the heat? Yeah, she lives in Vegas as well, so it's probably even worse there. What does your Stranger Things hoodie look like? I'm imagining Joy Vive being one of those face munchers, where their face are munchers, right? And Joy Vive's entire body as a hoodie is like monster skin, and then the hoodie is like monster teeth and face. That's what I hope it looks like. But it probably doesn't look like that. It probably looks like a bunch of kids on as print on her chest or something. Give us a visual description, or maybe take a selfie if you'd be so brave. Morning wonderfuls. I'm here in spirit, but dadding at the moment. Love you, bro. You got this. Having 2 puppies is amazing. They are both silly, snuggly people, and I love seeing Dixie get to play. She really needs her own pupper. Yeah, I'm happy that she got one. Thank you for getting her one. Like, it's an exercise thing as well, right? And that exercise will keep her healthy for longer. giving you more time with her. So not only did you give her a pupper of her own, but you also gave her a new lease on life. Thank you for that. That's awesome. The hubris of men building residence in the desert never ceases to amaze me. Uh, yeah, I think it's more the hubris of just wanting to get the fuck away from other people who have built residences. Right? That's the thing that's hubris to me, more than the desert part. But I get it. I do get it. I wouldn't mind one with Dustin and the new guy. I forgot his name. The D&D rocker. I feel like I'm missing some context. Shell not handling the heat well at all, avoiding the outside as much as possible. The hardest thing is convincing the cops, the pups, that it is bad for them. Yeah. Right, when they're like breathing like vacuum cleaners. No, bad analogy. When they're breathing like swimming pool suckers. What do you call those things? We call them creepy crawlies. Those things they're under the water, right? Sucking dirt from the surface of the swimming pool. When your pugs are breathing like creepy crawlies, that's not good for them, right? And they don't know that, unfortunately. So thank you for taking care of them, Kristen. No, I have seen hoodies like that. Yeah, were you thinking there might be one like that as well, Kristen? That's why we got Luna, but it took Feb to June for Silky to love Luna. Now it's non-stop. I think fortunately Kristen got lucky there, and I'm sharing this as an anecdote because Kristen told me this, but they took Dixie with them when they went to pick out a puppy. And Dixie was basically the one who chose Nick, right? Like they were being playful and friendly with each other, and that's why Nick ended up coming home with them. So Dixie was the one that chose her friend, right? So I feel like that probably helped as well. I'm happy that Luna and Silky are friendly at this point now. Dog, I follow this guy on YouTube who lives off the grid in the desert. It's amazing what he's done. Frugal off grid is his channel. Thank you for sharing, Nancy. I have a few of those in my subscriber list as well. My favorites is a family called Life Uncontained. They built their homes out of containers. They're very special. I've been watching them since before they had children, and now they have 3. Yeah, now they have 3, right? And getting to like see that, and getting to see them grow and their channel grow, and the finances that's available to them in a family, as a family, getting to see their kids grow up. It's quite a trip. The parasocial relationships we have, right? And they don't know who I am, but I very, very, very much so know who they are. At least, like I think of them the same way I do of friends, right? Like, oh, this friend I have who lives in America, right? And then you expand by thinking about all the things about your friend, right? They like this, and they laugh about stuff like that, and they make jokes as such. And that's what they look like. That's the kind of character that they have. The internet, what a cool place. Pics in Discord. Bidell, I like pie. I think you told us last time as well. Just pie. Is there anything else you like? You like jazz? I like guacamole. Pics in Discord, I'll check it. I think I'm the only person in California that despises avocados. Free shabakadoos. It's not for everybody. Yeah. As expected. Didn't I say? Bunch of people on like the chest area. Boom. Bunch of people on like the chest area. Still cool. And for $9, sign me up. What's that actor's name? Is it Millie Bobby Brown? Right? She can point at everybody. Squirrel. Weirdly enough, like out of all of these, the one I'm the most scared of uh, is him. He looks like he got Timothy Chalamet. Duck Dead looking super nice as well. Old replacement for old floppy. Maybe not Shema. That's a man happy to have a hat on his head. Right there. There we go. Alright. No, 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 no. Nancy, I'll check it out for sure. We took Zoe with us to pick out her puppy Tango. And Tango is 10 now. Best buds, totally. That is super nice. Melbourne, we are reading Atomic Habits as a family book club. Atomic Habits. That is not by Malcolm Gladwell, is it? Hey Google, who wrote Atomic Habits? Who wrote Atomic Habits? James Clear, that's right. Yeah. Atomic Habits is a pretty good read. Really kind of like centering down on the way you live your life kind of vibes, right? What habits are you making for yourself? What are you spending an hour on a day? And where is that leading you? Kind of vibes, right? But I have shared a bunch of those ideas in this space. I'm happy that you're reading it. I'm happy that your son is reading it. Getting that education, as a young man is very, very good. Tango is a great name for a dog. How old is Zoe? For some reason, my mind didn't want to ask that question. I'm happy that you do. That's a great idea to have a family book club. It's very interesting that you're saying that as well, Shell, because this morning I opened a dialogue with Max and John about having an hour a day that we technically, I said listen to a book together, but it could be reading a book together. But yeah, I want to do it too. It is good to have that, like almost like space. It's like a different vector for your brain to think in instead of just the problems you keep facing every day. His premise is 1% change in your behavior. A tiny change over time becomes a huge change. Yeah, exactly. Right? Like spending an hour of your day doing something, right? That's a tiny change you have to make. You can like spend an hour of your day taking care of yourself. And that can look like 15 minutes of journaling, 15 minutes of yoga, 15 minutes of silent contemplation with no distractions, just looking out into the world. And then 15 minutes of something that you like doing or whatever, right? 15 minutes of like that's a hard one, right? It's actually a hard one. What would I want 15 minutes of if I enjoyed it? Maybe a drive. I feel like right now a drive is still something that costs fuel. Maybe if I have an electric car, I wouldn't really think about driving that much. As in, no, I shouldn't do that. Take a 15-minute drive to clear your mind, right? And just that hour, as Shell just said as well, spending those small, like little incremental percentages of your life doing that stuff over a long enough period of time will change your life, like literally change your life completely. 1 of change becomes 37%, and 1% change becomes 37% in 1 year. No, 1% change a day is like 365% change in a year, right? Maybe a tenth of a percent of a change, which is very small, would end up 37% change in a year. Compounding like investing. It's true, Shell. I made so many changes in my life by taking them on one at a time. Yeah. But 1% errors day after day by replicating poor decisions, duplicating tiny mistakes, and rationalizing little excuses or small choices compound into toxic results. That's from the book. Yeah. And weirdly enough, I am very, and I try to be very vigilant of those micro poor decisions, right? And one of them for me is like smoking cigarettes. That to me is like a micro poor decision you're making every time, right? It might not be that cigarette that kills you, that one you're smoking now, but it's every time it's a bad decision. And like that's not a good decision you're making. No. And again, it's a small thing, it's a small percentage, but it has cascading effects with the way you see things. The rationalizing little excuses. It's the rationalizing little excuses that you're talking about, especially Shaw. The hard part is taking the first step because you make the first step on faith. You have zero proof that anything is going to happen, literally. Stepping into the fall kind of vibes. It doesn't just say we should make a 1% change. He explains how to pick your brain into wanting to make the 1% change constantly. Yeah, there's no tricking my brain, at least, Shell. Unfortunately. It's for me more like a discipline thing. It's like this is how it should be. And sometimes I'll fall short, right? For example, for me, how I'm thinking about falling short right now is with my laundry. After I've washed my laundry and I have it in the basket, brought back inside, it kind of doesn't bother me that it's in the basket. Uh, it literally takes me less than 20 minutes to pack all of my things from the basket into my closet, my cupboard, my closet, right? But I won't do that until I hear the machine running. In other words, some other person is using the machine, is going to have a load that they're going to want to go and hang outside. And then my brain is like, oh shit, be considerate. You know, don't make this person have to take your things out and put it somewhere or ask you to take it out. Just get it done. And then it happens. Then it happens just like that. All right. But for some reason, that discipline still seems to be lacking. And it's like a willful lack of discipline. Right? It's like something I know I can definitely get better at. And that rationalizing little excuse of like, oh, it doesn't bother anyone, right? Nobody is using it right now. No, no, must be better, must grow stronger, kind of vibes, right? And as again, right? There's no tricking my brain. I have to like the trick for my brain in that moment would be consideration. So maybe I could trick my brain into being considerate in the moment, right? Instead of waiting for the last moment to be considerate within kind of vibes. I haven't read it all yet, but there are the laws. One, make it obvious to make it attractive, makes it easy to make it satisfying. Yeah. My willpower expires daily at noon. Mine, I want to say does too, but it's not actually true. I still have a lot to do even after noon. Especially cooking. Just the cooking thing alone. Like I have a lot of cooking to do usually afternoon. I appreciate you bigly for bringing awareness to this. Thank you, Jovan, for echoing love to Shell as well. Meltem Methis 1.1 to the 36 power for equals 37%. Yeah, but that's still a tenth of a percentage. Right? That's a tenth. No. Yeah. No. Why are you doing the math like that? Is my question. You have to do 8%, right? If you do 1%, that's, and I'm pretty sure he uses the 1% logic as well. And then he talks about the whole 365% change at the end of the year. I just don't remember the 37 number, and my brain is like, the only thing that works is discipline. Yeah, for me at least. Truth, joy, truth about the first step. Yeah, like the first step is discipline, and then it becomes routine, right? And then fortunately, routine makes it easier for it to not be discipline because it doesn't have to be discipline, it just is. It just is something you do, right? But it goes motivation, as in your mind is like, oh, I should do this thing. Then it goes discipline. Okay, now I do this thing. This is how it is because I am disciplined. I said that this is what I'm gonna do, and then I do it. Discipline. And then if you keep doing that, the discipline becomes less and less of a requirement, and it becomes more and more of a routine, something that you're used to, something that happens automagically, to use that cursed phrase. Zoe is 14. She is probably in her last summer, but going strong. She's a big doggo, so 14 is incredible. She's my best friend. Love little Zoe. Sending her many more years and blessings. I'm just starting on a 6-month goal thing. I'll see how it goes by the end of December. Big goals, small goals. You don't have to share your goals if you don't want to, Nancy, but we'll be here to encourage and support you and celebrate you achieving your goals, and encourage in you not meeting them as fast as you would hope to. We love you, dear friend. Thank you for making goals for yourself. Right? Uh, Goals is a thing that I do not have a really good relationship with. Right? I have more of like a manifestation mindset where I hold a bunch of ideas and possibilities in my mind, and then I live my life, and then I show up for the things I'm supposed to show up for. And if there are experiences that align with the ideas I've been holding in my mind, it almost feels like it is the universe meeting me halfway, giving me the opportunity to do the thing that I might want to be doing. All right? And I feel like if it wasn't for the discipline, like, luck is when opportunity and preparation meet. Right? That's what we consider lucky. You have to have been prepared. You have to have put in the work to gain the skills that are going to be required of you. But as soon as you do, as soon as you apply that discipline and you make it a part of your world, you become something valuable. And it feels really like slimy that we have our world set up like that at this point. That you have to be valuable in one way or another. And I do believe everybody is. But again, it's like what we consider valuable. Right? To one person that loves you and appreciates your energy, just your presence might be the thing that's valuable. But to another person who has a business to run, you buying a drink at their establishment might be valuable to them, right? And even though you might show up at the space and, be kind, if you end up just taking advantage of the business every single time you're there, no matter how good of a guy you are, your presence will stop being appreciated, right? And it's like purely because of the problems people have in their own brains. And I'm no better in that way, right? I can very much notice in my own thought processes and my own patterns of thinking how I generate these problems, where I go down a narrative of information, of proof, of social proof that I've seen from a person, and then I go, yeah, this person doesn't really care that much. This person doesn't really contribute as much as they're taking. This person hasn't, helped what I'm trying to do one time. And it's like this whole narrative that you form in your mind, this problem you have in your own head about what's going on. And again, I believe that's going to be our biggest thing. That's going to be the biggest problem for us to overcome in the future, is this own narrative based making a problem because you're bored. I don't even know why I do it. It usually comes as like a state of feeling being taken advantage of, right? And then your mind starts being like, yeah, let me show you. Let me give you the down low. Doc, my big girl dog will be 12 at the end of this month. Her spirit is still strong, but the body has slowed down. Loving her. Not to work. See you later. Bless you, Shell. I had my first dog, little guy, for all of his 18 years. He was about Zoe's size. He actually smiled with his teeth, and people called him Smiley. Such happy puppers we've been blessed to love. That's so beautiful. Melt, I do manifesting too. It has worked well for me. It's included in the goals thing. I wasn't trying to put down your having of goals. That was just me sharing like from my own perspective. Me being the masculine person that I am, I end up being very hard on myself if I don't meet my own goals, right? So I tend to not set like hard goals, especially not like time-based hard goals. And I try to like give myself like 10 years working time with any idea that I hold in my mind. And that gives me some extra room to, maybe that is a goal, but 10 years goals feels a little bit more doable than a 6-month goal. In some ways, maybe I can just set more realistic goals. How about you say more? Stop it. I don't want to set realistic goals. I don't. No. No. Girl's a gentle giant. You can be many different things at different times for people or places or things. We're here to be useful. Sometimes that's as small as a hug or as big as a video mapping a mountain. Yeah. That's true. That's true. I still want to add more value. I think that's the thing that I'm getting tripped up about, Joy Vive, is that a part of me feels, I'm still not adding enough value. It's like I have to do almost everything myself before and even then I won't be satisfied. I literally watched myself. I just built an entire festival, did the sound, did the decor, did the trussing, did the visuals. Literally as up there DJing myself as well. And still afterwards I'm like, I could do better. It should have been better. Actually, this one thing, this like 5 seconds here of this festival wasn't ideal. How do I do better? So maybe that's the thing that I'm like kind of like getting at, or trying to at the very least get better at, is not creating that problem for myself over and over again. Right? Maybe my hope, maybe my intention is to let go of the problem that is considering myself not valuable enough, or that I don't add enough value. Right? Because again, it's a fractal of like, oh, surely if I was adding enough value, I would have proof. Right? I would have all of this proof, but nay. There's still much more to do. Maybe I'm being too hard on myself as well, with me being a 20-year-old. But another part of me doesn't want to take that as an excuse. I met a 23-year-old at that party, the conclave, who has his own landscaping business, who has 16 guys working for him. I was like, what now? Having 16 employees, just like thinking about it kind of like makes my brain glitch for a second. My babies are 15. Siamese are generally a long-lived breed, daring anything. bearing anything catastrophic. I'm happy that they're living there with you for so long. 15-year-old entities. And it's so wholesome. I do like this chitter chatter of what progression strategies work for one another. Like it is a cool way to like see, right? The way we differ in the goals we set. Meld, have you heard of the Dream Machine AI? I have. Makes videos from text and images. If so, have you tried it? It's again a pay thing. The machines I've used so far is Kreia, Luma, and Runway Gen 3. We made all of our visuals with Runway Gen 2, but we have access to Gen 3 right now. Dream Machine is very good as well, but it's again like we're trying to get like a workflow going, and right now we don't really want to spend the cash. Fortunately, I'll have clients, and then I'll just quote them for like the whole software suite, because then I'll get Kreia, I'll get Luma, I'll get Dream Machine, I'll get Midjourney again, I'll get myself an LLM, Runway, Gen 3, the unlimited package. Why not, go full Borg? Maybe, is there another thing? Maybe Topaz Labs again as well. It's like a good upscaler. And then just those software packages that I named, till I get like a 1 year subscription for all of those, or a 1 year software package for all of those, is gonna be like $1,000. Maybe more. Actually, probably more. Some of them, I think, like was it Luma? When we checked yesterday? I think it was Luma. It was a pretty good one. Like the video outputs you get are pretty good. But like the yearly software package was like $4,800. And you get like 2,000 generations. And my eyes just start watering. Run your own race. Comparison is the thief of joy. This is truth. Yeah. All right. Love is true. I am valued. 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 $11:11. 47. 7 friends watching. 38 on that one. But it is synchronistic. Built for comfort, not for speed. I don't know. Am I built for comfort or built for speed? I do consider myself like a racing vehicle with really good suspension, right? That can handle the speed, but if you're not driving at that speed, it's just really comfortable, right? I'm just chilling. I'm not using my body as a weapon. Why did that sentence crack me up? I'm just imagining myself being one of those guys that wanna box other guys. One of my cousins is one of those guys, right? And that's one of his things. He, like on Wednesdays or something, he goes to, are you ready for what it's called? Fight night. They called it fight night, right? And like they go and they put on boxing gloves and then they beat the living shit out of each other. And I'm like, yeah, why would you do that? Right? Like I can only hurt people or get hurt in that environment. Sure, I get stronger, but there are other ways to get stronger. Maybe it's adrenaline, but there are other ways to get adrenaline. Maybe it's camaraderie, but there are other ways to get camaraderie. Maybe it's the combination of all of those things being so enticing. Like, I, of course, won't stop my cousin, but I will question. I'll be like, bro, you think that's good for your brain? Taking a beating to it like once a week? Surely that can't be good for you, dude. Even if you're wearing gloves. And this is like MMA fighting, right, that he's doing. Like UFC kind of style stuff. So they're like doing a number. I've like seen this guy with like knobs on his forehead. I should ask him if he's still doing it. Maybe I'm assuming at this point. Yeah. Point I was making is the whole, race car. Built for speed or built for comfort. Like, what would have had to be different in my being for me to want to do that? And it's not that I never did not want to do that. At one point, when I was reading Trompi, no, it wasn't Trompi. It was a book that was kind of like that. The book was about a high school student who was a boxer, right? That was the only time that I actually thought about it and thought it was cool. I was 14. We had prescribed writing. It was this Afrikaans book about a boxer, right? And like he was being, I don't know if he was the one being a little bit mischievous or if his friends was being mischievous and he got the short end of the stick. But I remember there was some sort of mischief and then he got in trouble. And then that trouble looked like him having to chop wood for the school, right, during his school vacation. I know it's pretty lame, but that was like a part of the plot. And he got like super Jack-O-Matic, chopping all of this wood. And then he came back, for the next season of his boxing, and he absolutely, mixed people, squared up, put them in the ground, right? And at that point, I was like, yeah, boxing is cool, boxing's so cool. And then I went and I went and Google searched because I got a QWERTY smartphone. I got a BlackBerry Curve that costs let's say $6 a month, and then you get 100 minutes of call time, 100 SMSs, 100 something else. I think, like megabytes of like roaming data, and then a service called BIS, which was BlackBerry Internet Service, which was literally on the label unlimited. Not unthrottled, unfortunately, but unlimited. So you can like expect to get like 364 kilobits per second download max, which is not a lot, right? Like we're like thinking in like megabits per second when we're looking at our internet. So kilobits like fractions of megabits, right? So it was rough. But you could Google things. And I, of course, instantly went to Googling, right? Is boxing bad for your brain? And then I just see these extensive lists of being like, yo, bro, what did you think? You think getting punched in the face and having the butter texture or butter consistency lob inside of your skull is just gonna be like okay with that? You have these ridges inside of your skull as well that like nestles in between the ridges of your brain, and if your brain is like mixing around in there, you can literally just like cut pieces of your brain up inside of the ridges of your skull. And I'm reading all of this information, I'm like, oh jeez, oh fuck. Guess I'm not boxing. Guess that's just not gonna happen. So yeah, I wonder why that never happened for my cousin. I'm too pretty to be punched in the face. Actually, better going further than faster. I do agree. I do agree. But it is one of those things where it depends on what we're talking about. Right? If we're talking about actual cars, I don't actually like going further. Right? It brings me great joy in knowing that I do not have to drive far when I know I have to drive at all. It's like, nice. Only driving 2 hours. That's fine. Right? But as soon as it's like driving 17 hours, my mind is like, gee, I don't know if I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy that. I don't think that's gonna be a fun time. Right, and then in that case, I would rather go fast. I would rather get on an airplane and go there at like 7 times the speed or whatever. That makes more sense to me. My brother is into boxing. It was something always hard to watch. Jeebs. I cannot even imagine, Joe. Watching one of your loved ones, take a beating, hand out a beating, hand out a beating while taking a beating. Yeah. And what can you do? Is into boxing. I'm guessing you don't watch anymore, and then maybe he just watches the boxing at this point. And again, I guess like if you're training to become a boxer, that would be great exercise. And maybe it's entertaining from an audience perspective, watching two other people beat the living daylights out of each other. But I look forward to us like transitioning completely into esports, like hyper realistic, Ready Player One level, games, and then the kind of sports we'll create in that world, and the kind of things we'll keep up to. I'm looking forward to those kind of sports. The whole, like, and you can do boxing in those VR realms as well. You can like lessen the impact on the person. They can still get beat. uh, Make it like super dramatic, like do like the whole real steel fractal, build massive megazoid robots, and then have people pilot them and have those things box each other. That still is better in my mind than having the people fighting each other. Like, no, please. It's like the fractal of like now kiss, right? When you're like trying to intervene and you're like trying to get two people together, but it's like the opposite of like now get away from each other, please. No, stop. I hope he wears headgear. Well, he's a firefighter now, so he doesn't have a ton of spare time like he used to. Bless. My mind being like, thank goodness this guy doesn't have spare time because he'd spend his spare time getting into fights with guys that want to get into fights as well. He wore headgear and the competitive stuff, good. But I'm not sure otherwise. Oof, show. I'm saying a silent prayer for his brain. May our technology catch up as well. May all brain damage be healed. All right. Gee, we've been having chats for a while. I only, for the first time now, looked at the time and I was like, wait a second. I was looking at the 22 and I'm like, only 22 minutes has passed? And then I look up and I'm like, no, no, no. It has been a little bit more than 22 minutes. I'm gonna pull a card. My toesies are starting to get cold. The temperature has dropped to a nice brisk. Takes a moment to consider. No, please. Yo, has your Google Ad services like also been so obnoxious where you say no thanks and then you have to say no thanks again? Like I'm saying no thanks, I feel too many times and I'm comfortable with. Yeah, it feels around like 10 degrees Celsius right now. All right, card pulley time. Mm-hmm. I feel like I should have this behind my eyes. I can't see when I'm looking at you for some reason. Maybe it was also way too close, but still. This one? Oh. Hmm. What did we talk about today? The problems we create. Yeah. This feels like an answer. If I was asking a question of the universe, and like if we're gonna create problems, then you should hold out your arrows as a sign of peace. Stand in the blue burning fire, melting away ego. We were literally talking about that yesterday, Joy. Melting away ego. Thunderstorms and clouds, clear skies, and vortexes of energies, all supported by a 5-flower ratio. That flower in the background. All right. Oh no. Wait, does he box? Just into watching it. Missed your comment. Both. He's a bigger fan than a competitor. He used to box a lot, but is into watching it more now. Bless. Toxicity 42. It's been forever since seeing your name. It's been a while since I dropped in. I know. I don't know if people will remember me. I remember you, but that's just because your name is pretty memorable, right? 42 being like the answer to life, the universe, and everything. And then toxicity is like the toxicity of our city. Of our city. So there's like double links in my brain to remember your name. It's nice seeing you. So much has happened, yeah. A lot. I don't live with my parents anymore. My mind was like, am I gonna give this friend like a rundown? No. That's like the most important part. I don't live with my parents anymore. That changed. Oh, tell us. Maybe while Toxicity is typing out a little story, I'll read us our goodbye message or our goodbye card. Words are hard, okay? Don't laugh at me. It's freaking hard doing this stuff. It's hard. It's hard work. I went through a messy breakup, spent some time finding myself for 8 months, found a new partner, and got a tattoo of my favorite band. That does seem like quite a fractal. Piercing the veil. Self-awareness and seeking wisdom. You'll see. I feel like this is going to be very like personal right now, Toxicity. There are passages and veils through which shamans and visionaries transcend personal limitations and pierce through outmoded thought forms. It is by purity of purpose and by the ability to focus intentions that this becomes possible. This shaman holds a bundle of arrows representing the strength of the peaceful warrior. He is surrounded by blue flames that melt away ego. Powerful 5-flower geometry aids him in his interdimensional quest. This is a demanding pursuit that will require the visionary to be conscious and vigilant. As he pierces veils of illusions, he gains self-awareness and access to insight and wisdom beyond the conventional. This card suggests that you are in a quest of greater understanding of your life path. Imagine that you travel with this shaman into the geometries and into your own pursuit of self-awareness. Gaze past the veils of ego and delusion. Let it be your intention to move beyond these limitations and into your own personal truth. Courageously step forward and pursue the way of wisdom. Yow! Sleep token. No. Also, I managed to see said band in concert as well. I could not be happier at this point. That sounds awesome. Who is his favorite band? Sleep Token, they're called. They're the band that helped me push through the breakup and all of the emotions that came with it. Bless. Their music is just perfectly lined up with what I was going through. Having those songs that make it feel like they made them for you, right? Music can be so healing. Completely agree. Music is what kept me alive for the most part during my life. Music has saved my life multiple times. And so has you. Thank you, friends, for joining me again today. Is a goodbye message going to appear, I wonder? I feel something in the psychic mind saying that one will appear. One will appear? Will one appear? I feel like, look at that. Whoa. Whoa. Psychic abilities inbound. More and more powerful. Thank you, Xiao, for giving us a goodbye message. I hope you have the most compelling day, everyone. You're so superiorly, radically, really, toothy, truthfully appreciated now. And all of you, oh so superly, seriously, exceptionally extra, ultimately ultra, megavely mega, particularly powerful, daringly determined, confidently conclusive, authentic, wholesome, humanimals, aware of where the resolution lies in their problems created. May we be guided. May we be shown the way towards the light. May we be loved as much as Jovan loves us, to take the time to send a message like that. I love you, friends. Thank you for sending your energy to this space. I'm sending it right back to you doubled. Go and make the most of your day. Mine is over. Look at that. Look at that. That sun is gone. That sun is left. That sun is on the other side of the horizon. It's up to you now, friends. I love you. I'll see you again soon. Thank you for joining me. Until we do it again tomorrow. Talks. I once made a playlist for a friend who was blindsided by divorce. From here to there. A little birdie just came like right up top of my head. It's coming back. It came right up to my head and was like, it was watching me, and then it turned around and flew back out. Skabow! Boom! And now a gobbity-goo is here too, like a little Burby, skibobbity-booing, and then he's gonna skibobbity-boo back out again. We're just about gob, right? Yeah, I'm happy that I waited a second extra to read Loisanna's loving message. Thank you, friends. Thank you, friends, for joining me, sharing this moment, for making this world so special, getting to share this experience with you, friends. I'll see you again soon. Goodbye, everybody. I said that verb, bro. Thank you. That was so nice. I like that. Love you.